Welcome to the new world of Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube. We've not had Ignition Effect priority for about 36 hours now. The community has more or less flipped upside down. Dual Network's been hilarious. But anyways, I wanted to talk about my heroes for this build and just a little bit of what this has done for the game. I've talked about it being a triple effect Veiler format for a long time now, and that's even more so than ever before. We can Veiler Rescue Rabbit now, which, I've never had a problem with Dino Rabbit matchups. I've always been really comfortable with them, and now even more so. If you go back to my Veiler Crow Max C build video, I talked about how we were always siding out the Veilers against Rabbit. Not anymore. That matchup's even better now. Expect them to revert back to their roots. They will be maining D-Fisher or maining those sided Macrocosmoses now. This is to help prevent you from effect Veilering the Rescue Rabbit. So definitely expect to be seeing that. The deck to beat will most likely be Inzectors playing triple card D because they're going to be able to bait your Veilers with the card D so that they can abuse Dragonfly later once they know those effect Veilers are out of the way. Pick up Max C's while they're low, because if Heretic goes nuts, which they can, but if they really start topping events and whatnot, I can see Max C picking up a little bit of value again. But as for this deck, I went back to its roots, with me. I went more or less the current version of the deck that I got my invite to Nationals with last year. That deck, we had triple Book of Moon, I played triple Doomcow, triple Thunder King. I mained double Wildheart to dodge traps, and 15 was pretty good with Book of Moon. You could run stuff over with 15. But when I really say I went back to my roots with the deck, there's a couple things I mean by that. One of which is back then, Shining wasn't out yet. This happened in February. Shining didn't come out until March. It was Samurai format, which I don't think there's ever been a deck more broken than Samurai was then. And if the deck was able to do so good against that, I don't see why it can't now. Since Shining wasn't out yet, the deck did not play Miracle Fusion. In this build, I am not playing Miracle Fusion anymore. As odd as that sounds, I think you'll understand why once I show you the build and explain how it works. Another thing to mention is Reaper no longer needs to be mained, because since we can Veiler Rabbit and whatnot, we don't need that main decked hopeful stall against the Rabbit matchup. So anyways, let me get this back in the binder here. Onto the build. Stratos and triple Alias. This is our standard build. And then the one Endymion. This is to give us a 4-spark target. Double Thunder King, double Doomcow, and Cyber Dragon. I still love the special. I still love the beats. I still love the mained out to Zen mains. And then finally, this is our 10 monsters that we're working with. And then our last 3 are triple effect Veiler. Onto our spells, we have 15 of them. Triple Duality, Rhoda, double E-Call, triple Spark, double Typhoon, Mind Control, Book of Moon is awesome again. I really want this back to 2. Dark Hole and Monster Reborn. And then we play 12 traps. We play the Solemn Brigade. There's been a lot of talk about not playing Warning anymore. Warning did not get any worse, guys. Warning still does everything that it's always done. Don't mistake the fact that Bottomless got a little bit better for Warning getting worse. Which is why the second Bottomless has moved its way up from the sideboard to the main deck. Double Torrential, double Hero's Blast. The recyclability, and quite frankly with Ignition Priority gone, Hero Blast is so much more ridiculous than it's ever been. It's just freaking awesome. 1 main D-Prison and 2 main Compulse. You'll note that I'm not maining Mirror Force right now for the first time in essentially ever. I feel like they're not going to have anything on the field for me to be Mirror Forcing. is how confident I am with what I'm doing there. Onto the sideboard. Third Thunder King, second Cyber Dragon, and Honest. This gives us some higher monster counts, essentially for when we need to side out the Veilers against like the hero mirror match. You put those 3 in. And the last 2 monsters are Double Crow. This is mostly for Inzectors and a little bit for windups and a little bit for Dark World. Mostly Inzectors, because when they're baiting your Veilers with card Ds, once they get a Hornet moving, you need to be able to get rid of that Hornet. As for the spells, still double smashing, mostly for the Dino Rabbit matchup. 1 Super Poly. I used to play 2 of this. I only ever sided in against Dino Rabbit, and my Dino Rabbit matchup is so much better now with the Ignition ruling. I'm only playing 1. The Heavy Storm and the 3rd MST, and still the Closed Forest, because this card wins me games, I swear, in every tournament I play in. Gravekeepers and Dragoinity and Chaos Dragons using Ravine and Dark World people. The 2nd and 3rd D Prisons, mostly for those other stun matchups, and then double Chain Disappearance. Now, one thing that I want to mention about this, I had the deck a little bit different. I was maining 1 Chain Disappearance because the card is just so awesome. But maining that Chain Disappearance put me to 13 traps in the main deck. And for some reason, that felt like the threshold to me to wanting to play a Starlight Road. And I had the deck up. It was a pretty high count. I was able to get it down to 42, including these. And then I thought about it. I think with this new ruling, decks like Dark World and Hero are going to become even more so than they have been. And those are the decks that are able to control the game really well with a lot of 1-for-1s, or being able to put really big beaters on the field, like Grotha and whatnot. And I was afraid that having 1 possible dead card against those matchups was worse than not having this particular card against Inzectors, Windups, or Rabbit, especially with Veiler being able to do so much more work, and there's so much more answers now in the main deck. So I felt comfortable enough with go ahead and putting the 2nd Chain Disc, keeping it in the side, and then not having to play Starlight, which let me keep the deck at 40 cards. Now, as for the extra deck, this is different because we don't play Miracle and we only play 1 Super Poly, and really that's only for the Dino Rabbit matchup. We play onesies of the heroes: 1 Shining, 0, Gaia, Tornado, and Nova Master. Just onesies for whenever you have that Super Poly and whatever you want to use it on. And then 1 Chimera Tech for the Cyber Dragon. And then staple synchros with Catastor, Bryo, Black Rose, Scrap Dragon, and Stardust. Because of taking out the 2nd Shining and the 2nd Nova Master, and I guess something else. I have an extra space in here, so I went ahead and put Thought Ruler back in just because. But then we have 3 Exceeds. I've always just played 1 Utopia. I used to play Acid Golem, but without the main Reaper, there's no way for me to go into a 3 anymore. So I put a 2nd Utopia in, just because all I have is really level 4s. I still have Mind Control, and I still have Monster Reborn. And then also a card that really, I think, is still under the rug is Maestroke. Maestroke is like rank 4's Gotchi or Zen mains. I mean, it's a 23 ass, which makes it a little hard to get over. You know, detach material rather than being destroyed. And that actually works for any of your face-up gens. So that just includes himself. And you can do some fun things with putting things face down and then running them over, stalling, putting him back to defense, all sorts of stuff like that. So this guy can actually do a lot of work. Anyways, that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.